to the papers are signed. They're at the abstract title.
Yeah.
We have a date signed. I mean, we are ready to roll for that. And, roll through the weekend every other week with my kids, and my kids would pick them up Friday at 5:30 and went home. And I'm like, I'm just going to hang out low key weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I felt fine. Monday, all of a sudden, like at 3:00, I started getting a scratchy throat and then like this head cold feeling. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, no.
I'm going to go home. And so I went home. And it's one of those things that, by 8:00 that night, all the symptoms of COVID hit me. Like I was coughing and everything was just full blown. And so I sent a message to a friend of mine that runs the health department. And I said, hey, can I come in and get a test? And she's like, yeah. So 8:00 the next morning, that Tuesday, I went in and got the test, and it was positive, came back, so we could send the swabs off to get the variant typed with the state. And
so this is at the vaccine. So you're, and in that area, were there other breakthrough?
I was the first breakthrough.
You were the first?
The first. So listen, I'm the first trans person in this community known, the first breakthrough infection. Listen, being first is freaking overrated. I just want you to know, can I just take second for once, for goddamn once? I'm just tired of being the first.
Right.
And
can someone tag you?
Listen, yeah, absolutely. If this is WWE, I'm ready to stand outside the ring for a little while just to watch, just to see how it goes, because this sucks. And so it's a confirmed COVID case. I'm the first breakthrough case, and I'm doing all right. But then day 4, after my symptoms showed up, I'm having trouble breathing, and my pulse is raising to 125 just getting out of bed to go to the fridge to get a Gatorade. And my pulse my oxygen is dropping to the low 90s, high 80s, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. I am going to die. And I was popping anxiety meds just to because you can't breathe on your back.
Right.
And so, this is very fitting, but the world has me by the shorts. But for me to sleep, I am literally, standing on my legs, bent over the bed on my stomach. And I'm like, this is exactly very, very visual for how it feels the world is.
This is the metaphor for my life.
This is my life at this point in time. And I'm like, and if I die this way, I'm going to die
You'll
again.
Be the first.
I will be the first. I will we found her bent over. And so I was. The world was too busy giving it to me. And so that was me trying to freaking breathe, for God's sakes. And I'm like, this is how I go. This is how I die. And there's nothing worse than not being able to breathe. And I'm like, I can do this, it's just a breakthrough. All of them are mild, they said. And I'm like, bitch, please, I can't freaking breathe. And so, you're sitting on the couch, slumped over, trying to sleep. And I'm like, and then you'd find yourself laying over, you're like, can't breathe. So you'd sit up again. And I was like one of those weeble wobbles that don't fall down. I had to it was horrible. I finally recover. I didn't die. Yes, I'm a little dramatic. I wasn't sure if the anxiety was causing the COVID symptoms to get worse or if the COVID was driving the anxiety. All I know is it sucked and I would not recommend it. Yeah. But then Monday rolls around this week and Doc, the vet, dies of COVID. The person I was exposed to dies of COVID. And I'm like, we were supposed to sign we were supposed to finalized. We were done. Everything was sealed. 3 weeks to the day we were supposed to close. He died.
Oh my God. And he was the second breakthrough.
Yeah, he was the second.
Or whatever.
Well, I don't even know if he was vaccinated. We don't know that for a fact yet. But
holy shit.
He was 61 years old. He was in good shape. Great guy. He was a friend of mine. And his funeral is this Friday, tomorrow, on Friday the 13th. No. It is it's terrible. It is awful. It has wrecked lives, his grandkids and kids, their experiences. And it's so sad. And at first when I saw it on Facebook, I'm like, are you shitting me? He died. It scared me because I'm that could have been me, right? Mm-hmm. Had I not been vaccinated, I could have easily have died. But thankfully I was vaccinated. And now it's we're scurrying around, and I get released tomorrow to go back to work but I'm sleeping 12 to 13 hours a day. I'm basically, 40-year-old virgin without living in my parents' basement. and so it's just, I am just exhausted. Like
Yeah.
I'll work probably part-time until I close my doors forever. And so